Welcome back for another playoff episode of Have a Shift Day. We wrapped up the first round this past weekend. We're getting ready for the second round today. But first, we have to talk about those two Game 7s that we had over the weekend. It was unreal. We're so lucky that we got two instead of just one. And both of them were just absolute cinema.
Agreed.
Peak.
We'll start with.
It was
Go ahead.
good hockey. No, I'm just saying it was good hockey. I'm glad we got a few Game 7s in there because, I would have liked the way things the series were going. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if either of them ended in six. So I'm happy that we got the treat of watching a few Game 7s back to back.
Don't turn a hockey game off early. Part 2.
No.
Did you turn it off?
Winnipeg was playing so bad, I thought it was over already.
Oh, they were
No,
playing
Nick!
2-0.
Oh, they were playing terrible. That was probably that's if they play like that, they're not making it by Dallas. No way.
Dude, they were playing
Well,
so bad that I was like, this is over. And then I saw it was 3-1, and I was like, okay, I'm glad I turned it off. And then
oh,
all of a sudden my phone blew up, and it was like, Winnipeg tied it! Winnipeg tied it! I was like, what? This game had like a minute left. What do you mean they tied it?
well, speaking of, you mentioned Dallas, we'll start with that Game 7 first. We're going to go over all the series and how they ended up finishing, but we want to specifically break down these two Game 7s because they were the talk of the hockey world this weekend. My bracket has died. If you have watched the bracket video, you know that I picked Colorado to win it all. And they died. And it was Miko's revenge.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't want to blame. You can't blame yourself too much for that because you have to think about it. The seeding. I think it's, of course, if Colorado was a better team, they would have won. Dallas just played unbelievable, played a great Game 7, and Rantanen, of course, is Mikko Rantanen for Game 7. But I think that a big issue with that happening is the seeding because, like, I thought about this last night. I was like, it really sucks that we don't get to see, you know, Colorado climb through the ranks to eventually then meet Dallas and a team like the St. Louis Blues with the grit that they had, just gone in the first round. When if they played a different team, they probably would make it in 2 or 3 rounds. So I mean, it sucks that we got to eliminate these teams so quickly.
I think Ranson said something like that in his post-game interview.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't watch that. So
He said
Yeah, I mean,
something. He said something like, "Oh, like, you know, like, it's the way the playoffs is. You gotta play a hard. We had to play a hard team in the first round, and like, I don't think it should be like that, but like, that's what we're dealt with, or something like that."
yeah, and what was I going to say? And we were talking about this, like, before we started recording, how we're going to do a bracket checkup, and I was just being sarcastic, like, oh, I'm so excited for this, because mine is just dead.
No, Megan's excited. She's excited to
No,
see
I'm
it.
not. But
we can
you
make
guys
a
really
you can make a new bracket.
I can
Make
do
a
the second
new
chance.
bracket. It's
Yep.
crazy.
I think I'm going to do it.
Doing that in the second round, before the second round, it's crazy.
I think I'm gonna do it. Back to what I was saying. You guys were poking fun at me a bit. Obviously, that's gonna happen. But I was not like Colorado was a heavy favorite. It was a majority choice for the Stanley Cup. So I don't feel completely stupid for picking them. I think
No.
everyone knew like this was gonna go 7 regardless, and plenty of people picked Dallas too. So a lot of people's brackets were on the line in this series. And like you said, it was a really tough matchup in the first round. It was basically a Western Conference final in the first round. And it's probably going to be like that in the second round too for Dallas and Winnipeg because Winnipeg's just coming off of okay, maybe not as intense as and close as that. But like Winnipeg just came off of a Game 7 where it was a close game. They had to battle back. So both of those teams are still going to have a fight, and then they have to either face Edmonton or Vegas. Like I'm sure we've mentioned this before. The Western Conference is a gauntlet. It is absolutely brutal, and even though Colorado will not be winning the cup, unfortunately. I still firmly believe that the champion is going to come out of the West.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah. But back to the game. Colorado got a 2-0 lead early into the third, and just couldn't hold on to it. Ottinger shut them down, and a big turning point was I think it was the power play.
Yes.
But yeah, Kale's stick broke. Rantanen gets, was it Rantanen? I can't remember with the puck. But Dallas goes the other way, ends up scoring. So yeah, and I just wanted to bring up Kale again because he finally got a goal in the series. It was an empty netter in Game 6, but still
He did
just
not play well.
he was very, very quiet in the series. And I saw, I want to say it was in Game 6, his glove, he was on the bench and his glove was off, and there was tape all on his hand. Like, I think he has an injury. I am very.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he
Yeah,
does.
I'm not either. I mean,
I'm very convinced that he has an injury, and if it comes out that he had like a sprained or broken hand, wrist, or something, I will not be surprised.
Yeah, what I think as well is what he might be processing through his mind. I don't know is with how um with how driven like the Dallas Stars were and how crazy they are through the neutral zone. You know, Kale tries to. He's a he's a great offensive defenseman, and he's gonna go through those little edge spots and he's gonna peek it towards the opposite side of the goalie and he's gonna work the boards and things like that. But I think he was just a little afraid to go behind hash marks. And I think that like he was so like opposing to sit like towards that blue line because the second Dallas got that puck, that rush was coming and it was coming quick. So, I mean, what I saw off of him, it seemed like he was a little hesitant to be able to try the things he's been doing all season because let's say that puck is missed up and he's caught lacking the play, they're not. I mean, most of the time Dallas is not going to miss on an opportunity like that. And when you have such a good defenseman who's also a great offenseman, I think he was a little hesitant to move down which really I think messed with his brain, which is why I don't think he produced as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Um, and just also like on the power play specifically, Dallas was very. I don't know whether to say Dallas was very good at killing the penalty or Colorado just was not good at scoring. I would say it's both because I feel like Colorado could have shot the puck a little more. I was watching the game, like yelling at my TV like I do with the Penguins when they're on the power play. Shoot the puck. But also just Dallas shut them down on those power plays.
yeah, I wasn't really impressed with Colorado's power play.
No, and that's something they need to work on. They have the firepower for that. I wonder if a bit of that happens. Like, I'm not putting blame on Landeskog, but they did move him up to the first power play. I wonder if, like, not having him there all season might have just been, like, they weren't able to get the chemistry back right away. And, like, again, not saying Landeskog killed the power play. He didn't. It's just, you throw him in there. He hasn't been on the top unit in 3 years. And it takes time to get used to that a bit. And when you're in a 7-game series, you have to get used to that fast. And they just didn't. I mean, McKinnon's still producing on the power play. He was by far their best player this whole series. But it's just, you have to adjust yourself faster.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Something else about Dallas, I really underestimated their depth. Like, I really should have thought about that more. They are, looking back at it, they are definitely a deeper team than Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, they have offensive power on every single line, whether it's Mikko Rantanen and his Finnish friends. I'm sorry. They are just all on the line together.
His Finnish friend is crazy.
There's Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen. Honestly, that is a really good line. So, like, keep the Finns together.
They have a lot of Finns on their team, don't they?
There are.
Yeah, half
Also,
their
you had
team's Finnish.
Tyler Sagan producing after being out all season, and then Wyatt Johnston has been unreal for Dallas.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Johnston's on the third line. So
Yeah.
we've talked about it. You need depth to win championships. That's how the Penguins got back-to-back championships. We had HBK, third line, producing.
Uh huh.
And that
They
seems to be what Dallas has. So, and they're gonna get Heiskanen and Robertson back pretty soon.
definitely need that line. You need that like third and fourth line to be able to start a period, just to go out and send a tone, like throw a few
Mhm.
hits and get the puck into the zone, make a quick change, and then send your big guys out there to go and score. And that's what they did like crazy. It's like
Oh,
start a
for
second
sure.
period, start a third period. But like fourth liners out there, they'd throw a few hits. I mean, that Colorado would be rocked, and they'd just be slapped. They just were scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dallas also kind of got like a nice gift on one of the goals because we know in Game 6, McKinnon's game winner was kind of a fluky bounce goal. Um, they got lucky. And then I want to say it was the tying goal. Yeah, it was the tying goal. The puck went off of I think Gerard's
Yes.
skate, and went in. So that was kind of like, okay, you guys got a fluke. We got a fluke. It's even. And then, Dallas ran away with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, just an unreal game. Mikko Rantanen had a really great attitude afterwards, saying in his post-game interview, like, oh, those guys are my brothers. But, we weren't friends in this series. But he he still cares about those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Colorado Avalanche fan base will probably hate Mikko Rantanen for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal if you're an Avs fan.
Yeah.
Just to
Like
think about you. Go ahead.
I was watching Game 6, and I think it was when Rantanen scored and took the lead. I'm like, you guys cannot have your season end like this, especially on home ice. And then Colorado ended up winning, and then when Rantanen got one goal, I'm like, you guys cannot have your season end like this, and it did. So that was not great, but Avs fans, I'm so sorry.
I mean, a
Yeah.
guy who didn't want to leave your team and got traded, even though probably shouldn't have, and
Yeah.
he ended your season. That's brutal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all I know is that Colorado will probably never make a trade with Carolina ever again, or at
It
least for
also
20 years.
it also does suck that the power play to give them the lead, the penalty was taken by Jack Drury.
Oh, he was in that trade, right? I didn't even think of
And
that.
on that exact same play, Nietzsche's got hurt.
Oh, yeah. That was, that's just, that is just blatantly the script writers being like, yeah, here's the script. But okay, the NHL's not scripted. We know that. This is more of an NFL joke, but um,
I
you
don't
couldn't have written it better.
know. After that game seven,
After that game 7. Oh no. Ah,
And you
well,
got pretty good actors then, being able to put that puck in less than 2 seconds in. So I mean, they got to be pretty good.
I mean, if the following game seven was also scripted, scripted is
well,
pretty
we'll move
crazy.
into that, but one more little from stat from the Dallas Colorado game. Mikko Rantanen is the first player to ever score a hat trick in a single period in a game 7 or in the third period of a game 7.
I think it was single. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
just
a single period.
feel like I've heard two different things, but moving on to our other game 7 that we had briefly touched on already, Winnipeg and St. Louis. The Winnipeg Whiteout went home happy again, and it was a brutal start for the Jets and a
Don't
brutal
turn the game
finish
off,
for the
guys.
Blues. Yeah, don't turn a game. Do not ever turn a game off. We already learned that with LA Edmonton back in game 1.
It was game four, I think.
No, game 1. Remember, Edmonton came. It was 5-2.
Oh yeah,
Edmonton came back and tied it, but LA still won with like 40 seconds to go.
that's right. Because I did
So
turn that game off too.
yeah, like yeah, I think Edmonton also in Game 4 scored earlier in that period to make it 3-2.
Yeah, but I
So like,
turned it off
like
when it was
there's a
3-1.
chance. Okay, well, 2-goal leads are some of the worst leads in hockey. So stop turning the TV off when there's a 2-goal lead, even when there's a 3-goal lead.
Yeah.
So if you're new to the podcast and you're new to playoff hockey, don't turn the game off until it's over.
Don't pull a me.
Don't
Or
pull
you're
a
gonna
Nick.
miss a lot of the stuff.
Yes, you will. So this game, it's about 2 minutes in. Blues take the lead. We think Hellebuck's going to fold like a wet napkin, as Nick has described him time and time again. It's 3-1 in the third. Blues are still up, and the Jets tie it. They get one, but then they tie it with 1.6 seconds left. And I would like to note, too, the Jets were without Mark Scheifele for the whole game, and then Josh Morrissey left during the game.
I mean, it can't get any more poetic. I think that's like the most insane ending I've ever seen in. I thought it was gonna go triple overtime too. The way that was looking, they started playing last like 10 minutes. I was like, they're starting to lay back a little more, and then but eventually they'd get some room in the offensive zone, and I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And the one is third period after they scored the 3-2 goal. They driv the puck right in front of the net, and the puck gets lodged in between Bennington's leg and the upper pad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was inside of the net before they pushed him in the net. Now they didn't say if the whistle was blown or not, but one thing that they were talking about, like if you look, they zoom in from the back camera, the puck ends up squirting out of there after it was lodged. You can't see it though, so I understand if the refs were like it's inconclusive because that's a rule and you got to stick to it. But it's crazy to think that most definitely that puck was in the net, which is crazy. So I was thinking, because of that rule, which you got to stick to it, so I understand, but because of all of that, like the Jets could have tied it up, but then, I mean, I didn't think they were going to tie it up again. You know, it's
Especially
insane.
not so late.
How hard
I
did you celebrate when the Jets won?
Oh, it was the craziest. I think I woke up the neighborhood. I'll be completely honest. Like,
All that over a Winnipeg Jets win.
dude, I got they're my cup winners, and I think did they deserve to win that game? If you watched it from 5 minutes left in the third period, yes. But if you watched the entire game, it was a brutal watch for wanting the Jets to win. But I don't know. I was just really excited because I think Winnipeg's the great city, great hockey town, and it does suck that we got to get rid of St. Louis this quick, though. Oh,
Yeah, they really did put up a good fight. They were fun to watch, and it was great to see them get into the playoffs the way that they did. And I think that St. Louis fans they're definitely disappointed. I think they should still be proud of their team because, no one expected them to go on a 12-game winning streak. Um, they have a bright future ahead. They were missing Dylan Holloway too, who was a big piece, and not to say that they lost the series because they didn't have Dylan Holloway, but he would have definitely really helped them. Who knows? Maybe even this wouldn't go 7. He could have helped. But you're gonna have him next year. I'm pretty sure they've got a lot of their main guys still under contract. I think one person, I don't know if I really have a big question mark about him. They picked up Cam Fowler during the season, and he was really great for them in this series. So if he can continue to produce like that in the regular season and then possibly in the playoffs next year, that is definitely someone that they're going to want to keep around.
oh yeah.
And I think
I
something
think
else
he's a
that they should be,
UFA this year.
maybe they'll re-sign him. We'll see. But they should also really be proud that Bennington is getting back to himself, back
Yeah.
to 2019 form. That Four Nations really rejuvenated him, and he's also probably going to be a part of the Olympic team next year, so that could give him a boost too, right before they go on a playoff run again, and who knows? So, St. Louis fans, it's a heartbreaking fashion to lose in, but be be proud of where your team is going, because you also have Jim Montgomery, who's going to keep coaching you for a bit, because
Yeah.
you scooped him up before anyone else could.
Yeah, they got a bright future. Like
Oh, absolutely.
a really, really bright future. And I don't know what was going through that locker room for those last 12 games of the season, but I don't know if you guys watched Spit and Chicklets when they had Kevin Hayes on the other day, but Kevin was talking. He was saying like he went out to dinner with some of the guys on the Blues before the Pens played the Blues, and the Blues were saying to Kevin, they're like, "Hey, I don't know who was at the dinner, so I don't know, but some of the guys were like, hey, like if we lose to you guys, our season's over." Like so, as a joke, like take it easy on us. And the Pens ended up beating like 6-2.
Oh
So
yeah, here we that was that was the last game that they had lost before they went on their winning streak.
right. So I don't know what was going through that locker room after that game into the next few, but they definitely had something to be able to just completely build their momentum. But I mean, they got such a bright future, and I'm just hoping that they could keep the momentum going into next year because that's hard. That's harder than people think too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and it was really exciting to watch their 12-game run. Don't I don't really say I have a second favorite team. It might be Colorado actually, but there
Yeah,
are
we
definitely
can
a lot of
tell.
teams out west. Yeah, there might be a lot of teams out west that I also like. Like I like the Blues. I think I like the Wild a little bit just because of Fleury this year, but I think I like a lot of their other players. But it was great to see the Blues being successful. So
definitely.
all right, well let's continue with the rest of the Western Conference. We whose phone is on? Is that you, Nick?
Yeah, sorry, I was getting a text.
It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's just like the third time it rung, so I was just curious. Um, the Golden Knights Wild. That one ended in 6 with Vegas taking the win. Um, and Minnesota has, what is the stat? In 8 of the last 10,
Yes,
hang, 8 of the last 10 years, they've not made it
yes,
out of the first round. Like
yeah,
we've been dogging on the Leafs for not making it out of the first round for several
yeah,
years,
yeah,
but Minnesota's worse.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that series now. Of course, I still had Vegas winning, and I think we talked in the last podcast. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas, like took and just dominated after this. And I don't even think they dominated either. I mean, I didn't get to catch too much of that series because I wasn't really expecting them to win as much as they did and end up pushing for like winning in 6. But I mean, wasn't there was a few overtimes, right? I think,
Yeah,
and I don't think they dominated. I just kind of just couldn't believe that they could win from where they started in that series. Like especially game 2, game 3, almost going down 3-1 in a series. I just wouldn't really. I mean, I couldn't really expect. I wasn't expecting the outcome. I guess. I don't know.
yeah, I definitely would not say that Vegas ran over Minnesota. Like Minnesota gave them a fight, and we mentioned it last week. Reminded us that they were one of the best teams in the league before they had all of their injuries, and if they didn't have those injuries, they definitely could have probably finished one of the top teams in the Central.
Oh yeah.
We could have had a completely different playoff outlook. Oh my gosh. Hey Nick, who has not won a first round in 8 of the last 10 years?
So,
Thank you.
speaking of Minnesota, the Frost are in the playoffs,
Yay!
and
I know.
tomorrow is game. Wait, is tomorrow game
Is
one? Game.
tomorrow? I can't remember. Hang
hmm.
on.
I'll look.
You look because I'm actually using my phone to connect my audio, and if I like exit out of this thing, I'm not gonna have audio coming from me for like a minute.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
follow the PWHL, but did I see that they won something like 8-1 and the opponent pulled the goalie with like
Yeah, that was the
over
Frost.
half the period left?
So yeah, there were still 2 playoff spots up for grabs. I don't follow it as much as Ryan does. I need to follow it more. Um, but the Frost, they needed a regulation win over the Boston Fleet to get into the playoffs, and I guess the Fleet pulled the goalie with like 15 minutes to go because they were down by 5. But I think the Fleet needed like a win to get in too. So
Yeah.
it was.
I love when
So
that type of
we
stuff happens.
play May 7th. So if we play
That's Wednesday.
that's Wednesday at 6, then it cycles every 2 days. But we're starting in Toronto though.
Is it
So
6 Eastern or 6 Central?
we play at 7.
Because at one time I was
I just
with
thought because it was in Toronto. I thought it was in Toronto because I thought that. That's why.
I was with my mom one time. We were taking my dog to like doggy school. Um and like afterwards I was like, "Oh, I'll watch like start with the second period on my phone afterwards," because it was like, "Oh, the game starts at I think it said 6, I don't know." I was looking at the Minnesota Frost time.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, I've missed a whole period." But then I get in, I'm like, "Wait, why is it just starting?" I was like, "Oh, wait,
Yeah.
time zones." I'm
That
just
gets
so
me big
used
time.
to Eastern.
Okay, I have a
Um,
question.
okay, yeah.
What on earth is doggy school?
Doggy training.
Oh, okay.
Like learn
Like,
like obedience class basically.
do you get a diploma for getting a treat, or like what's going on here?
No. No.
Oh, you get an A in knowing how to sit.
Wait,
No, it's not just
does your dog like do you have graduation?
I
Yeah, is
don't
there
know. It's
graduation?
not like
Do they
okay,
walk
so it's
across the
not like
stage and get a little diploma? Like,
it's not like you're supposed to attend so many classes before you like complete it. It's just kind
before
of
you
like
fail?
it just runs like on Thursdays, and my mom takes Gus whenever she's like, "Oh, we can go tonight," or "Oh, we haven't been in a while." I don't know. She just goes when she wants, really. Um, there are other dogs.
That's Gus.
That's after doggy graduation.
Oh my goodness. He has fun there. He makes friends.
Does
Um,
Gus steal the other dog's lunch money?
oh my gosh. We need
Does
to get back on
does Gus
track.
shove people in lockers?
Oh,
No longer.
Is Gus on the doggy golf team? The doggy school golf team?
holy.
It's just training. It's just teaching him how to like, if we tell him to stay, how getting him to stay. There's also other things he's learned, like touch. That's whenever his he touches his nose to our fist, so it's like his version of a fist bump, basically.
Is it
Um,
called Eden Doggy Academy?
no, it's not. It has nothing to do with my high school. This is the
Nick,
complete opposite
Yeah.
direction.
Nick, it's Point Bark University.
Point Bark University. That's where he's going. That's where he's going next after Eden
That's where he's
Doggy
going.
Academy.
That's where he's going.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to get back on track, guys. Um, but
Bark.
going that was great. Um, back to Minnesota and Vegas. Um, someone that we had said before that Jack Eichel and Mark Stone needed to do something in this series because they hadn't done anything. Well, they finally did things, and that was really key for Vegas winning. Eichel had 2 points in Game 6. I want to say he was a +2 as well. Um, I don't fully know Stone's stats. Let me look
The
those
stat
up
guy's not
real
here
quick.
today.
Yeah, our stat guy isn't here today, so we have to improvise. Game logs, playoffs. Mark Stone also had 2 points and was a +2 in Game 6. Let me just double check I had Jack Eichel's stats right. Oh, I typed Jack Eichels like possessive. Not just okay. You know what? Why don't you guys discuss those two players and their impact on this team while I find the stats?
They basically are the team. I mean, not basically, but like they're the star players, and in the playoffs you need the star players to produce if you want to
Mm-hmm.
win. And they won't, but when it's all said and done, they did produce when it mattered the most, and I think that's why they won this series because
Yeah.
they showed up when they needed it most. That's what your star players are meant to do, and that's you know they it proved successful. They won the series, and yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they kind of need to be. You need them to play, especially when you're going against Edmonton, who's a bit tougher of an opponent. You're gonna need them more, like them just showing up. There's gonna be more moments when it counts, and they're gonna need to show up during those moments versus
Yeah,
Edmonton.
it's good that they started to get going now instead of having to like catch up in the next series.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. We can get into this, but maybe think about it. But like Edmonton, I don't know how Edmonton's going to come out, but they have to be coming out blazing because of how like
Yeah,
their last series went.
I
Yeah, we
think
can
even if
move on to that series now. Just recapping LA and Edmonton first. But I think the biggest thing for Edmonton in this series, obviously, fourth straight year they've beaten the Kings. They own the Los Angeles Kings franchise rights. Um, but I had mentioned before that this is the best chance for the Kings to beat the Oilers because the Kings had a lot more depth this year, and the Oilers' depth this year compared to last year was a lot more lackluster. Um, but that depth really came through in this series for Edmonton. Like their depth showed up. You had Corey Perry, Evander Kane were two big names scoring for them, and Evan Bouchard as well from the blue line. And they they proved that they can still be a deep team, and they beat the Kings again.
yeah, I mean, I think that Game 3 comeback win for Edmonton just absolutely awoken the beast in them, awoken what we're used to seeing, how they play in the playoffs, especially last season. I had a feeling like especially after Game 4, when I turned it off. So you're welcome, Oilers fans. But I definitely think that they just came back, won, and just rode the momentum, and
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
didn't stop. I think LA was just depleted after that, and kind of one team went, the other one like it was kind of absolute switch, and yeah, uh, Edmonton now they just got to carry this momentum in the second round, and if they do that, I don't see why Edmonton can't go back to the final.
Well stated.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Now I need to grab my
Um,
phone charger because this laptop's about to
Dig
die.
in right now. That's what
I
that
think
was
he
game
should dig in
three.
and go get his phone charger, apparently. Um,
Oh,
but what was I gonna say? I've been listening to the Empty Netters podcast. They have they have shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, but they've been doing live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's been great. Um, but every time they talk about this Edmonton LA series, they have been saying you cannot give Edmonton a single little bit of life, otherwise they're going to run away with it. And they clearly did.
yeah.
So
Man, you
I
couldn't have
think
said it
that's
better.
Vegas has got to keep that in mind too for their upcoming series. They cannot give Edmonton a single little bit of life, otherwise they are cooked.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to look the stats for Game 6, but I don't think that McDavid and Draisaitl contributed as much in that game,
Ugh.
which is going off again of my whole spiel about the depth. yeah, like you had Adam Henrique scoring a goal, Zach Hyman, Darnell Nurse, Trent Frederick all got goals, Connor Brown. Um, yeah, between McDavid and Draisaitl in Game 6, only one of them had a point. And it was McDavid getting an assist on Nugent Hopkins. That was a power play goal. So, of course, McDavid's on the power play. So, again, the depth coming through for the Oilers, finally. And that was the thing for me for several years with the Oilers. Just like people were praising them, and I'm like, they are literally just Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And that was my thought going into this playoffs. That's not the case anymore. They are not just a two-player team. They have their depth is back. So yeah. Vegas, I'd be a little. I mean, I don't want to tell them be worried because you don't want to go in with that mindset, but like Edmonton's still scary, so it's not going to be an easy series. No. All right, let's hop over to the East. We'll get through this one. We'll get through this one a little quicker, because most of those games ended in 5 games, or most of those series ended in 5, with one ending in 6. Nick, no brooms, no problem. We still won.
Okay.
I want to know.
Like, yeah, I'm going out of order, but it's fine.
Like, this is not at all like a shot at all, but I just want to know, Nick, how you're feeling, because I don't know if you still want Florida, because this team, I mean, don't get me wrong, we'll get into it. Tampa had injuries out the wazoo. Like, they were crazy. Injuries were wild from the start. I think it was like game 2 when they started racking up injuries. But I have faith in the Leafs. I want them to win. But do I think they are? No. So, Nick, what are you thinking about how that's going to go? Because it's scary.
Do you want my biased or unbiased opinion here?
Just give me the unbiased.
Unbiased.
Yeah.
Unbiased. This team's cooked. Unbiasedly, if I get Tampa was injured, but if Florida can go through a good Tampa team in 5 games, oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
We'll see. Do I still believe in this team?
Believe.
Yes. I mean, do I still think the Leafs could do it? Yes. Do I think the Leafs could win the cup if they do it? Yes.
It's not what your bracket says. You have them getting reverse swept.
Yeah, but that was before we got into the playoffs.
Do the Leafs have home ice advantage tonight, right?
Yes.
They do.
That's the one thing though about this, is that the Leafs do have home ice advantage, which last time they played Florida they did not. So
it's going to be tough because I know there was a lot of Ottawa fans in Toronto, vice versa as well.
There were more Toronto fans in Ottawa than Ottawa fans in Toronto.
Right, yeah. I don't see one Florida fan, maybe 2 Florida fans being in that building. It's going to be tough to play in that building. So I think if there's any hope, if they lose, because didn't Tampa had home ice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, Florida's not a team that's bad playing in away games, but of course it's Toronto. It's a different atmosphere. But if Toronto, they just got to get one out of these 2, and if they don't, then you're in deep. They're in deep trouble.
If they go back to Florida down 0-2, it's over.
Yeah.
But if it's 1-1, I still feel confident.
1-1 would be great. 2-0 would be insane. Holy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, though, is, like, I really do feel like this is a different Leafs team than years past, though. Like, don't get me wrong, Florida's a great team. Like, we all know that. Florida's... What the heck?
Sorry. Your screen, you were frozen, and, like, your face is all, like, weird when you were frozen, so I just turned off your camera and turned it back on and try and fix you, so.
You have control to turn off my camera?
I do, but I fixed it, too. So I wasn't trying to get rid of you. I was just trying to fix your camera.
Wow. This girl's riding the Panthers train that she's blocking me from
I
talking.
was just trying to fix you because your face. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but your face looked all crazy.
Women. Anyway, uh,
It's not like I'm muting you like I muted Jake last week, although that was warranted.
that was. Um, but yeah, like I still do think this is a different Leafs team than years past. I mean, I know we're gonna get to Toronto, Ottawa, but like they can close out series, which they kind of proved that with the Ottawa
We're
series.
on Toronto, Ottawa, so go ahead, get into it.
I mean, yeah, Toronto proved that they could close out a series. It kind of sucks because I was in the bathroom when Pacioretty scored the game winner, but
Why do you keep turning games off or getting up and
I didn't turn
leaving?
it off. I went to the bathroom. I tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. So
So
I got,
you know what to do now.
yeah,
It's
go to the
stay
bathroom.
in the bathroom. When you guys are tired or something, stay in the bathroom.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I still feel like this is a different Leafs team. You know, one that can actually close out series, one that can definitely compete. I mean, yes, yeah, they struggled closing out Ottawa a little bit. But granted, the hardest game is like the last game's the hardest game to win. We all know that. Um, in Ottawa, they're a team that's going to be built for playoff success. They do kind of remind me of almost like a mini Florida. If that kind of makes sense. I mean, yes, they both have good shucks, but like just kind of the way that they're structured. Um, they Ottawa does kind of remind me of like a mini Florida, like a Florida Junior. So I feel like this is kind of like the junior version, and then you got like the big version, the real version.
The
It's
big
kind of like
boy.
it's kind of like I know it's kind of a funny analogy, but you kind of got like I don't know if you guys like grew up. You guys grew up playing Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got like the Minecraft Pocket Edition Lite, and then the Minecraft Pocket Edition. That's kind of how I view Ottawa
It's
and
a
Oh my
Florida.
crazy
god.
analogy,
That's kind of how I view Ottawa and Florida. Ottawa being
but I
the
get it though.
Pocket Edition Lite, and Florida being the official version. So,
Is this gonna
I,
reignite our conversation about the Have a Shift Day Minecraft server?
oh yeah, we absolutely need to do that. Like, when we doing
Oh
that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come on, I'm trying to
we,
beat the
well,
Ender Dragon with y'all. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think Toronto. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, it's gonna be over in like 4 or 5." I don't think that's
they're
gonna be
gonna give a
the
fight.
case. I think Toronto has a lot more fight than people realize, especially if they play like how they did the first 3 games. If they
Mm-hmm.
can get back to that, I mean, I think all games will be decided by like 1 or 2 goals. But I do see this going 6 or 7. I think it's gonna be more of a closer series than people think. And like I said, this is a different Toronto team. You know, the Stars are the star. You know, Matthews scored in Game 6. Nylander's look great. Marner's look great. Tavares has played great. You know, and the depth too. Um, has been the defense. The defense for Toronto has been solid both on both sides of the puck. And I mean, Solis has played great. They've gotten the goaltending too. So I think if
Yeah.
they can, it just got really dark in here all of a sudden. I think if like I said, if they can continue to play how they played the first 3 games, I mean, yes, Florida's gonna be a hard team to beat, but I think if this is the best shot they've had in all their years under the core four to go on a deep playoff run, and I think they have the team to do it this year.
All
Yep.
right. Well, um, let's go now to the Panthers and Lightning series a little bit more. That one ended in 5. Tampa could not win on home ice, and the only man who could score on their power play was Jake Gensel. You're welcome, Tampa Bay. Um, but I we brought up their immense, extensive, really, list of injuries. So, Victor Hedman had a broken foot. Nikita Kucherov had a left hand injury. Eric Chernak had a left knee contusion. Nick Paul had a left wrist tear. Brandon Hagel had a concussion. That one was pretty obvious. Yanni Gord had a broken finger. Anthony Sorelli had a grade 2 MCL sprain. Oliver Bjorkstrand, who didn't even play in the series, has compartment syndrome. I don't know what that means. And Luke Glendening had a right shoulder AC joint separation. So, if we were wondering why Victor Hedman and Nikita Kucherov weren't doing anything, there's the answer. They were injured.
Guys, I have some breaking news.
What?
Frank Saravalli is leaving Daily Face Off.
Congrats, Nick.
There you go, Nick. There you go.
Did he say why, or is it just...
He said my decision.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Bye-bye! Bye-bye!
Oh, anyways,
So little doctor's note on the you said compartment syndrome?
yes.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw this out there because it's interesting. So it says a dangerous condition caused by pressure buildup from internal bleeding or swelling of the tissues inside. It's like the pressure decreases blood flow, depriving muscles and nerves as they need extreme nourishment. So he was going through it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
well, all the best to Oliver Bjorkstrand. That's
Okay. Anyway,
That's brutal. Thank you, Dr. Ryan Jones, for the doctor's
Yes.
note.
you, Dr. Jones. Isn't this a character on,
That's
like, some
It isn't
doctor
fine.
show?
that's crazy.
Isn't that a character on, like, Grey's Anatomy or something? Dr.
I
Jones?
don't know. I don't watch medical dramas.
I don't either.
There is now.
I don't even watch medical dramas. I don't like hospital. I don't know how people can watch those.
I can't watch him.
No, I'm
How you can
squeamish. I
watch,
can't watch.
I get it's tea, but, how you can watch someone doing, surgery,
I get squeamish. I can't watch
oh
medical
my gosh.
shows.
My mom watches all those, Grey's Anatomy,
So does
I
so does
love
my
the
mom.
Chicago series, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. I can't
My
watch
mom
Chicago.
watches all the
I
Chicago's.
can't watch Chicago Med. Too gross.
Yeah. No.
I can watch Chicago Fire and Chicago PD and be completely fine, but Med, no.
Yeah. No. I'm. Duh. Even. No, actually, no. I can't. I was about to say something about the rookie. I'm not going to say anything about the rookie because people I know are not caught up. So.
My mom also watches The Rookie.
Oh my gosh. By people who are not caught up, I mean my family, my parents and my brother. He might be caught up now. I don't know. But he wasn't. He was only an episode behind. My parents still have a couple. So,
I didn't
never
really watch
mind
those
with that
anymore.
point. Back to the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Specifically the Lightning. There have been a lot of people questioning John Cooper's future with the Lightning.
Get ready to learn Mormon, buddy.
Oh boy. What are your guys' thoughts on John Cooper? Do you think it's time for a new voice in that locker room, or do you think people are just overreacting and it was not his fault?
I don't think it's time or anything. I think he's leaving for Utah, and I think it's his choice.
I don't know. You could definitely see a. I don't know how to put this. You could see a different tone in his kind of setting. You could see that he's not the same John Cooper there was even last year. Um, and it's just I don't know if it's a mental buildup depending on just like Nick said he wants to leave, he wants to go somewhere else, or if just stuff is not going the way it's going for him. But I think he's a great coach. I think he's got a lot of potential to maybe even turn this team around because I mean, it's John Cooper, Stanley Cup winning coach, and he's very smart when it comes to doing what he does. And but I don't know. I mean, there might be something else going on, but I mean, Nick, did you see anything that says he wants to leave or?
I just read something that says either this off season or next off season. Let me see if I can find it.
I
Uh,
would honestly probably think next off season would be better.
well,
Because
next off season his contract expires. He has
I
a
mean,
oh,
if
contract
you
I
want to
can
expiration.
leave,
take
if you want to leave, come to Pittsburgh. I mean,
yes,
so
we have an opening.
we
We
yeah.
do have an opening. You know, everyone's talking about Crosby to Colorado. Can we talk about McKinnon to Pittsburgh?
uh, no. How about we talk about neither? Um, but
You don't want
with John
McKinnon in
Cooper,
Pittsburgh?
I I mean, I would love that, but like, do we actually think that's gonna happen?
Oh my lord, how?
We're not going to spend the
Um,
money because we're paying 10K for Eric Carlson.
yeah, he's on my calendar this month. You can't see it. Can I?
Do I have
You
the
can't
same
quite see
calendar?
it.
I might have the same calendar. I don't know.
Well, I got it at a Penguin game. It was a gift
Okay, I
away.
found it.
Oh, then yeah,
According to
I got the
Larry
same calendar.
Brooks, there is belief in the NHL that John Cooper could and will end up with the Utah Hockey Club, either next season or after the 25-26 season when his contract expires.
I think at least for the Lightning, like if he's talking with the Lightning organization about like if he should go or not, I don't know if he is. I feel like the Lightning should make an effort to try and keep him around for one more year because after after they got embarrassingly swept by Columbus in 2019, they came back the next year and won the cup, and then that meme was dead, and it was sad because we lost such a great meme, but um, and then won them another cup. What the heck? Um, so again, I don't think that like his coaching was necessarily an issue for this team. Like I think the injuries were a big part of why certain players weren't producing. I think Nikita Kucherov, like, yeah, the injury definitely affected him, but he does have to get going a little bit because he's not scored in he's not scored a goal in 14 or 15 playoff games now. So that's going like all the way back to when the Leafs beat them in 2023. So I mean, maybe a new voice is needed for Kucherov in the playoffs. I don't know, but I think they should still like keep him around, give him another chance for another year if he's not like very adamant about leaving.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
All right. Well, moving on to Capitals and Canadians. Jake is not here this week to
Now
be stupid.
I miss you, Jake, but maybe it's a good thing you're not here for this segment
Yes,
because
agreed.
you're very wrong because the Capitals are going to get slapped in this series.
I
They're going to
hope
get
so.
absolutely slapped.
Yeah, I
We'll
it's not
preview that series
close.
soon. Um, but just wrapping it up with the Canadians. Um, very physical series. And I think the Canadians, you know, like hardly any of them had been in playoff hockey, so they didn't really know how to play with that fully. But much like the Blues, Canadians fans, be proud of your team. We did not expect them to make the playoffs. They've got such a bright future. They've got a core that can be built around. You've got Demidov who just got here and he's already looking great. Like wait till we have a full season of him. Like that's gonna be good.
What did you just say his name is?
Demidov.
What did you call his first name?
I didn't say his first name.
Just them it off.
Oh, you said
I
you
just said Dem.
got Demidov.
Yeah, I said you
I
got.
thought I heard Yukov Demidov. I was like,
No, I know his name
what?
is Ivan.
Yes. Okay. So I'm so tired still. If you can't tell,
When did you go to bed?
I think only two.
Oh, that's early for you.
I know. Wait, no, three.
Never mind.
So I was playing NHL. That's what I did last night.
Anyways, but Montreal, be happy, be proud. I don't really have much else to say about this series, other than I think the biggest challenge for Carolina in the next series is going to be Logan Thompson, but we'll get more into that soon. Um, and annoyingly, Tom Wilson was really a game changer for the Capitals in this series.
Yeah, I think Montreal is definitely. I mean, it's definitely a younger team than Carolina, and I don't think the stuff that Wilson's been doing is really going to fly against Carolina. They're going to have guys who are willing to just put their game on the line to just go after him if he does anything. So I think
Feel
there's definitely
casual.
going to be a step back in the physicality towards like just open blatant physicality. It's going to be a messy series, but I just think the Capitals are just I don't know like they put on a good. Uh, Capitals are a good team, but Montreal just put on a great 5 games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like it could have gone either way.
yeah.
So
And I think basically all games were one goal series, right? Like obviously a lot of games had empty netters, but like not counting empty netters.
yeah, one goal games. So
Yeah.
Yep. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot to say about the series. I also don't have a lot to say about Carolina and New Jersey. I
That
think,
was as expected without Jack Hughes.
yeah, it did. New Jersey, you just had a bunch of injuries. It's not your fault. I think also a lot of us didn't pay attention to the series as much. But
Didn't have to. You know what you expected.
we did. I think we all predicted 5, maybe. Um, but for the Hurricanes, I don't know the status of Frederick Anderson, but I think that was definitely the biggest question mark going into this next series. But he did just there we go. Well, this was 2 days ago. He returned to practice. He also signed a 1-year extension yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just something to watch going into their next series is the status of Frederick Anderson. And since we already kind of touched on the Leafs and Panthers a lot, let's just finish out in the East with talking about Washington, Carolina. Already mentioned that Carolina's probably not going to take Wilson's crap. I think the goalies are going to be a big story on both sides. And, you know, Washington's going to need their depth to continue to contribute. And Carolina's going to need their star players to be their star players.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Any other thoughts on this series? Starts tomorrow.
Gonna be
yeah.
fun.
I don't think too much, but I know we talked about like the West Conference just being an absolute tank. But I think out of the East Conference, these two teams are the one to watch out for because whatever happens in this series, you you got either Florida or Toronto coming up too. So, I mean, the first series was definitely okay. The East was a little lighter, but now it's some heavy hitters that I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's you got 4 teams who could win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Agree.
think the 8 teams that are left are all very all any of the 8 teams could win. I think
Mm-hmm.
This
on
is why I'm
balance.
scared to do the second chance bracket because I feel like my bracket's just gonna die again.
It could because any of those
Hey,
eight teams
might
could
as well
win.
go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I pick the Leafs, then they'll lose.
You pick the Leafs and they lose. I'm leaving the podcast.
Okay. Don't do that.
Fine. I
Um,
just won't show up until the playoffs are done.
okay. Um, we'll jump back over to the West now. Dallas, Winnipeg, both teams coming off really long series. Um, the Jets just got Nikolai Ehlers back, which was big for them. They lost Josh Morrissey in Game 7. Don't know his status. Don't know how Mark Scheifele's doing. He could be back for game one, maybe game two. I don't know. I'd have to check on that. Um,
J
but
E
Dallas, on the other
T
end,
S Jet.
Dallas, on the other end, should be getting Heiskanen back soon. I haven't heard a lot
Dallas
about Robertson.
Stars. Dallas
Yeah.
Stars.
Um, so how do we think this series is going to play out? I know we know the biggest question mark for Winnipeg has been Hellebuck. He's been good on home ice. He was he he played better as game 7 went on after giving up that third goal. He just shut down the Blues. Um, if St. Louis was okay, playing in an away game in the playoffs is just tough in general because fans are just a different breed during the playoffs. Do you guys think that it'll be a little more difficult for Hellebuck to play in Dallas than St. Louis, maybe?
Yes.
I will
Dallas
also
Yeah.
is
say that
not
Winnipeg
easy.
won the season series 3-1. So, do we think that's going to have any indication on how the series is going
I,
to go? I personally
I
don't think it does.
I don't think too much. I think that Dallas is just such a powerhouse that it makes me worried for the Jets. But
I would be
um,
worried if I was the Jets.
yeah, I'd be
Hmm.
very worried. But I don't think no, I don't think it tacks on to too much about with the season series. I don't think it's too crazy.
No, season series doesn't mean anything in the playoffs.
Nope,
Of
I
course,
mean,
it builds
Ottawa
confidence.
won every game against Toronto in the regular
that's
season.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that like I've said I don't trust President's Trophy teams. So I had Winnipeg losing to Colorado in the series, but even now, I could see Dallas winning this series. I think that their stars and their depth are all tearing it up right now. That I think they are just going to be peppering Hellebuck and going to be getting. Who knows? They might chase him again, like St. Louis did 3 times. We might be seeing Eric Comrie again. So I my money is. I mean, I'm not going to bet obviously because I don't want to bet on anyone in the playoffs because they could go either way. But I I'm banking on Dallas to win this one.
I
yeah.
have
Sorry,
Winnipeg in my
Ryan.
bracket, but after seeing how Winnipeg and Dallas played in their series, Dallas is going to steamroll the Jets in this series. I think by like
I think steamrolls. I think steamrolls
Yeah,
definitely a thing.
I think it's still going to be a battle. It could
I
be
think it'll be
another
a
seven
battle, but
game
I think
series.
Stars are going to win this in like 5 if that's how Winnipeg wants to show up each game.
I mean, that
I
means you're
say
kind of
6 or 7.
I think you're kind of downgrading St. Louis then with how
Yeah,
good they were. I mean, St. Louis is a. I mean, in my opinion, the way they were playing, that's a cup contending team.
yeah. It
And
wasn't like it wasn't necessarily just like Winnipeg wasn't playing well. I mean, obviously Hellebuck wasn't playing well, but um,
I mean, yes, but I
St.
think
Louis is a good
if
team
Winnipeg
as
went to
well.
overall,
like if Winnipeg went to 7 with like the Kings, I'd be agreeing with you. But
do you
I
think
think
St.
St.
Louis is a better
Louis,
team than the Kings?
I
yeah,
do.
100%,
Really?
without a doubt. I think
I
St. Louis
I I agree
watching
with that.
those games, the like just the grit that St. Louis had and just the constant forecheck throughout the entire 59 minutes of Game 7. I mean, you saw it they literally gave up on that last minute. The defense started falling forward. They all put their sticks into one hand. Bennington looked up at the clock and then pushed ahead, and they got a lucky tip by him. It's like that team was so unbelievably good, and of course, I have Winnipeg going to the Cup. But watching Dallas play, I'm not going to be surprised at all if Dallas beat them in 6. But
Join me in the bracket graveyard.
right, but I I don't think it's going to be easy either way.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be easy because no series is going to be easy, but because if how Winnipeg played against St. Louis, especially the games that St. Louis like steamrolled them, Winnipeg looked like crap. Like They did not look like the team that won the President's Trophy at all.
Mm-mm.
And Dallas just Dallas to me is just better, just better. Like especially if I know, like yes, they were without Shifley, they were without Morrissey, um, but for this whole series, Dallas was without Robertson and Heiskanen. If they get them, I don't know if they're gonna get Robertson back, but if they get Heiskanen back for the second round, they're getting the best defenseman back, who is great on both sides of the puck. I think this is gonna be tough for Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
there might be
it's.
coaching. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think they're going to be getting both of them back. I just looked up. It Pete DeBoer expects both of them to play in game. No, I don't have an account to the Dallas Morning News. Oh, it just says round two. I could only read the headline for that. I can't read the whole article. I'm not subscribed to the Dallas Morning News. Darn.
Oh, I do have some breaking news.
Again?
Yeah, Rob Blake has been fired from LA.
Oh,
Wow.
that is breaking news.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I didn't
They have,
really.
quote, mutually agreed to part ways, also known as you've been fired.
I mean,
A part way.
I didn't bring it up when we were talking about that series because I had brought it up last week with the coaching and those decisions. But I think like coaching was a big part of that series and a big part why LA might have lost. Because like, what big adjustments did they make after they lost two straight to Edmonton?
They traded Warren Fogle for Victor Arvidsson, and that was about it.
No, I meant after they lost games 3 and 4, not the
Oh,
series. I'm
oh,
talking about in this
nothing.
series specifically. Like
Nothing.
I don't say that LA lost that series because of that really dumb coaches challenge. I mark that as the turning point in the series.
That also was the most stupid coach's challenge I've
That
ever
was the
seen.
dumbest coaches challenge ever.
That was literally
And
just,
when you make a really
we'll
dumb
try it.
decision, you need to recover and make sure your team is making those adjustments. What did they do to adjust? They didn't give like what were the shots? Game 5. The shots were insane.
Edmonton outshot them in, I think.
Yeah, no, they outshot them like
Yeah,
on they outshot them in an insane amount of shots. I just need to
yeah.
get the actual numbers here because
Was it
I
like
like turned it on. I'm like, are you
40 something to
joking?
20 something or
Yeah.
something?
46 shots for Edmonton, 22 for LA,
Yeah.
which is just here. Here are the shots on goal by period.
What was the
First period, 19 LA, no, 19 Edmonton, 4 LA. So,
what was the time on attack? Because that's crazy.
time on attack. Um, where would I find that?
Or like time of possession, maybe.
Well, if they had 46 shots, it's got to be a lot.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
where
if
to go.
I don't know if that's a neutral zone problem for them or if that's just not being able to get out of their own end.
I
That's
LA
crazy.
just did not. They gave Edmonton life, and LA just did not adjust.
Right, right.
And like they weren't rolling all 4 lines. So I agree with this firing. I think there needs to be a new voice. I don't think they need to tear their roster down completely because they have good players and they have depth. They just need to keep building it up and building around it. But they need someone who's actually going to push these guys when game gets tied and then immediately goes the other way, that they're not going to be like, "Oh no, we lost the lead. What a stupid challenge." You're just going to be like, "Okay, we screwed up. Let's go get it back." So, on that note, let's talk about the team that cost what was his name? The LA Kings coach?
Jim Miller.
let's talk about the team that cost him his job.
Oh no, he didn't get fired. Rob Blake did, the GM.
Rob Blake. I was gonna say that didn't sound like his name. Uh, let's talk about Edmonton and Vegas. Our last preview. Um, like I've said, quoting the Empty Netters podcast, if you give Edmonton a little bit of life, they're gonna run with it.
Oh yeah.
Vegas cannot do that.
These are both teams that it's just kind of confusing because they're both teams that had a rocky start that just started dominating after game three, and I don't know. It's like they showed up late to the party, but now they're here to stay. So it's gonna be weird seeing how they're gonna attack against each other.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this series is gonna go. The other ones you can kind of lean towards, but this is the one where I'm completely clueless.
Yeah. This is really a coin flip for me.
Me too. Like, I would, now that I've seen how Edmonton made it through the first round, would not be surprised if they make it back to the conference finals, even if they make it back to the cup.
Yeah.
Which is scary. But,
I think if they make it to the finals this year, they're winning the cup.
oh, yeah. Like, my preseason prediction, after watching the series on Amazon, I'm like, Connor McDavid is pissed. He wants that cup really bad. So it's like, they might win it this year. So, yeah, if they make it out of this round, I think they could probably make it to the conference finals. Unless they face Dallas again, and Dallas absolutely just peppers Pickard, and Pickard ends up being the one folding like a wet napkin. But we'll have to see. Definitely, like, it's the same thing with how I had mentioned in the Caps Kane series. Not LA. Vegas needs their star players to be their star players, and Edmonton needs their depth to keep producing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
In Edmonton, Toronto Stanley Cup final.
Oh boy, that'd be something.
That would feed generations.
That'd feed generations in Canada.
Oh, it'd feed hockey fans. McDavid versus Matthews for the Stanley Cup. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think like Edmonton. I think Edmonton would beat them, unfortunately, but
we'll see.
I just don't. I just hope they can get there. If the Leafs can somehow pull out something against Florida, then I mean, then there's no question to think that they have a chance in the semifinals. So
yeah.
I think Florida's gonna be a harder team to beat than Carolina, which I know kind of sounds crazy, but
no, it's not crazy.
No,
and I think it's the same
think?
thing with the seeding. It's like, would you want to see Leafs Florida in the conference final? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you rather see it then?
I think if they can beat Florida, they can kind of beat anyone. I think.
I agree, 100%.
I think Florida's gonna be the hardest.
They will get a lot of momentum if they beat Florida.
That's your hardest team. If you can pass them, then if you lose in this series, Florida's just the better team. But if you win and then go next and you lose, then something's wrong because Florida is the team to beat right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have any other final thoughts on these upcoming series that start tonight? Second round starts tonight. The schedule was nice and kind to me for getting this out at a good time.
Man, I wish we had 2 games tonight.
Me too. I mean, it kind of sucks that we've only had this is our 4th straight night of just 1 game, but it's, we were able to just enjoy those 2 game 7s, which was great, and it's just how the cookie's gonna crumble. They have the draft lottery tonight too, so I think
actually can look forward to that.
I have to work, so I can't watch it.
I'll just be watching the Leafs game, but
Well,
wait, is the draft lottery at 7 or?
It's at 7, and they're actually doing the drawing there, on live TV.
Oh, that's fun. That's
I can't
wow.
watch it.
The
I'm
things,
a little sad.
the Pens getting first overalls at 7, and the Leafs beating the Panthers take a 106 lead starts at 8.
Oh goodness.
Are we in the top? Are we in the bottom 10? Right.
Yes,
Okay, so if we do get first overall, we will get the first pick because first pick gets Matthew Schaefer. So
you would
How do
love that.
that's
do we have
Erie
a
Honors.
scouting
He's right
report?
down the street.
I know.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's
So
literally
that's
down
the
the street.
Well,
that's
he's not the
project.
consensus though. There's a few guys who it could be.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean
definitely.
like
I think Schaefer's gonna be top 5.
He's gonna be top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are gonna have to give me all the prospects. I'm not very
Oh, please.
well versed in draft prospects. I need to be better
Dude, the
at that.
Penguins getting Matthew Schaefer would feed Orion for the rest of his life.
Oh, I'd be so sick because he's literally I don't think you understand. Like there's like they stay at the houses, the families or whatever that kind of just bring them into the family
Yeah,
because of
bullet
course they're
families.
not. Yeah, yeah. And he's literally like 5 minutes away. Like he's right down the
That's
street.
Have you ever
crazy.
talked? Have you
Are
ever
they
like
still in?
hung out with him?
No, they got eliminated in the second round, 4-0 to London.
Ah,
Have you ever hung out with him?
No,
You don't like talk to him? You aren't besties?
we're not besties, but not yet, not yet.
not yet.
You will be once
Okay.
he gets drafted to
I mean,
Pittsburgh.
I've seen him drive it like driving with family. Like I've seen him at stores before. So
That's cool.
like just a quick hi, But
Is he built?
what's up?
Is he built? Like
Oh, for his age, yeah, for his age, he's huge.
Oh, right. He's younger than us.
He's younger than us.
All these young whippersnappers coming into the league. Guys, we're getting old.
there's
All the players.
no way you just said that.
We're getting old, though. Everyone getting drafted is younger than us.
I don't like that at all.
Neither do I. It's weird. And
These youngins.
it's just also weird, too, that they're like people around our age.
Like imagine where you're at right now, like in your position. Imagine playing in the NHL, like at your age right now.
Yeah,
Like
that's crazy.
I still think of it like I need to be older, but no.
it's
There's a
insane.
guy who just made his NASCAR Cup Series debut, and he was my age.
Whoa.
I was like, okay.
Scary.
All right. Well, one more thing. We don't have to go too deep into this, but Mike Sullivan, as we know, has been hired by the New York Rangers. He got hired like 2 days after he left
Oh, I
us.
forgot about that.
Torch is going
So
to
no
New York.
update. Yep. No update on the Penguins coaching search, but that's where Mike Sullivan ended up. No surprise that he ended up getting snagged by a team so
Oh,
fast.
Jake's not here. I wanted to get his opinion on it.
Oh, because it's the Rangers! Oh no, that's personal for Jake.
Miss you, buddy.
Yep. So that's the news on that front. There's not a lot of around the league news that happened from this week. It was just mostly awards getting announced. Are you okay?
I hear someone's voice, and it's like right outside the window.
Are you sure
And
it's not like the
none of it's
mailman?
English.
Yeah, true. There are mailmen.
Maybe he's a mailman. I don't know. I don't feel like looking.
Okay.
It just like caught me so
No,
off guard.
just stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Well, we're wrapping up here, so you can
Caught
go
me so
check
off
that
guard. I
out.
was like, oh, what is that?
Okay. Well, we'll let Nick go check that out because we are done for today. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube and Spotify if you aren't already, or if you're new here. We should have our next episode out either Monday or Tuesday next week. We will keep you up to date, so make sure you're following us on our social media accounts to stay up to date with those. I will make sure those are in the description because I think I've been forgetting to put those in the description, but we're going to get better at that. And make sure you're following us too because we're still recapping the playoffs every single day. It's going to be only one game for a little bit, but it's fine. Because, Nick, why?
We do a little trolling.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's all I have. So, thanks for joining us today. Make sure you're following us, and it's time for the second round. Playoffs
Go
are
Jets,
moving
go.
on.
Go, Leafs, go.
I don't know who I'm cheering for.
Join the Leafs.
No. I will only join the Leafs if they have to play the Capitals.
Well, you gotta root for Carolina. Just for this
problem is that's
series.
Nick's pick. Okay, I'm gonna root for them in this series.
Root for your home team, a new Pirates generation. Everybody shout, let's go.
Okay,
Bucks.
go Canes. I don't know.
Oh yeah, go
my second-
Canes, because
Anyone but the Caps.
Anyone but the Caps. Yes. Preferably not Edmonton either,
I
but
can hear
if they
Jake
beat the
saying
Capitals,
go
I'll take it.
Caps from his apartment right now.
We don't need to acknowledge that. But anyways, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.